What's up?
What's going on? We're out here taking in the night air. New York City is 65 degrees, which signifies the end of the world for two reasons: global warming and the impending doom of
the coronavirus.
Exactly. Which got us to thinking and wanting to talk about what's happening at Great Meadow Correctional Facility.
So basically, our governor, the Honorable Andrew Cuomo, has decided to utilize the incarcerated people at Great Meadow Correctional Facility to manufacture hand sanitizer to fight the coronavirus. Now, that's problematic. We represent quite a few folks at Great Meadow Correctional Facility, them and their families, fighting horrendous and horrific human rights violations every day. And so now to put this upon them, to create the serum, if you will, for the coronavirus. Meanwhile, there's nothing in place to protect them.
There's no provisions for their safety as far as we know. Folks that are incarcerated in New York's 54 prisons, 48,000 people. They're in close proximity in these facilities. And so once the coronavirus hits those enclosures, we know that it's going to spread at a wild rate. And while folks are being used to create the serum to hand out in the form of hand sanitizers, where's the conversation about what happens to prisoners of New York State facilities? Where's the conversation ever about any of the human rights for those folks, except when they're being utilized for slave labor?
Absolutely. It really is reminiscent of slavery. It's almost as if the black and brown people have been called upon to operate the proverbial cotton gin. Right. And the thing about it that's really, really upsetting is there was a uprising in Italy quite recently in the last couple of days where the coronavirus had hit the prison and the folks were up in arms. And while we don't know too much about mass incarceration in Italy, well, I don't know too much about mass incarceration in Italy or criminal justice reform. What we do know is if that's happening there, when it hits New York State, it's going to be horrific.
It is. And so it's just important that folks are aware that this is happening. And so much happens in these facilities that no one is ever really aware of, whether it's violence on
the hands
of correction staff on a wide scale, which is what we are faced with every day in our work, to lack of proper medical intervention, which is a concern once this virus hits these enclosed spaces,
which aren't very sanitized.
To begin with, you know. So Governor, New York State,
Cuomo, your henchmen, all you folks, stop your nonsense.
Stop your nonsense and stop relying on these old structural tropes of utilizing, standing on the backs of black and brown folks who are already disenfranchised, who are already in prison at a higher rate than anyone else, and who no real provisions are made for their safety and their well-being in adherence to their human rights. So just stop it. Stop your nonsense. Cut it out.